From August 27th to September 7th this year, Chicago will be the host city to the third Pan-American Games, the biggest and most spectacular sporting event held in the Western Hemisphere. WBKB will be telecasting these games exclusively. Of the 27 nations from North, Central, and South America participating in these games, the majority are Spanish-speaking, many with histories and traditions older than those of the United States. The main tradition of many of these Spanish-speaking nations is the corrida de toros, the bullfight. Good evening, I'm Fred Casper. Further Pan-American understanding, WBKB tonight brings you a national television first, a videotaped afternoon of bullfighting from Mexico City. We wish to thank Mr. Emilio Escarga, distinguished Mexican citizen, and his company, El Sistema Mexicano, for their cooperation in supplying these exclusive television tapes. When half the hemisphere in which we live maintains such a centuries-old tradition as the corrida de toros, the bullfight, we believe it's well worth our while to seek some understanding of it. Bullfighting is a tradition among Spanish-speaking peoples that dates back several hundred years to the mother country of Spain, and is a tradition that archaeologists date back 5,000 years to the island of Crete. Our own culture in various art forms reflects interest in this tradition, in music, in books, and in painting and sculpture. To assist in tonight's presentation, we have with us the Reverend Patrick McPolin, Roman Catholic pastor of Immaculate Heart of Mary Church. Senor Louis F. Moya, Vice President of the Mexican Chamber of Commerce in Chicago. Senor Anthony Perez, Committee Chairman in charge of Latin American groups participating in Pan American Games. And Dr. Jose Sanchez, Professor of Spanish at the University of Illinois and consultant for Latin American affairs at Pan American Games. And Senor Carlos Arriba, well-known Mexican bullfight expert and radio personality now residing in Chicago. Carlos will provide the commentary for tonight's program.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you very much. But before we start, I'd like to stress a point and make it very clear.
Go right ahead, sir.
Well, a bullfight is in no way a fight because the matador never fights back. The only one that does the fighting is a bull. On the contrary, the matador only eludes the charge gracefully. It's not even a sport. It's not a contest. It's more like a ritual. I could very firmly say it's an art. It depends the way the matador works with the bull, always in the face of death, and the way he kills him through the traditional way of doing it that makes the quality of the aesthetic of the fight. That's what a bullfight is.
Carlos, I'm glad you brought that up. There's some points that we'd like to know about the Latin American viewpoint as far as bullfighting is concerned. What is the philosophy of bullfighting?
Well, the philosophy and the origin at the same time come from a very old time. And it is that it's to show the bravery of a man. That's what it is. And it comes from a very old time because it started back in when the Spanish courts used to put a big show for the people to enjoy. And, of course, they had to feed the people. And they used to bring in bulls to be killed in front of them. And a man used to come out and to show his bravery in front of his lady, the lady of his dreams, the king or the queen, or just to his companions, and make a dedication of the death of the bull, and all by himself, with one of those old big swords they used to handle, come out and kill the bull, a brave bull. That's what it was.
Father McPolin, as an American, would you say that it is torture for the bull in a bullfight?
Fred, there's no maneuver in all of bullfighting that has as its object the inflicting of torture upon the bull. Neither is there any teasing of the animal. The picks, the banderillas, tend to spur up the courage of a brave bull. And if the bull is cowardly, then yes, the picks, the banderillas may inflict pain, but immediately the crowd, the people, appeal that that animal be withdrawn from the bull ring and a new brave bull be brought in.
Senor Moya, how do Latin Americans feel about animals in general?
Well, we love animals in Mexico, Central America, or South America, whether they be dogs, horses, or bulls. Yes, we do love animals, all animals in Latin America, but we appraise men higher.
Dr. Sanchez, turn the tables. What do Latin Americans think about some of our activities, such as football or boxing?
The popular American sports, such as the ones that you just mentioned, and baseball also, are equal contest, well balanced. Some of the contestants properly chosen, such as in the case of boxing. Whereas in the case of the bullfight, as you can evidently see, it's two unequal, unbalanced forces. And we know very well what's going to happen in the case of the bullfight. We also, on the other hand, we do not know what's going to happen in the case of the baseball or the boxing match or the football game. As Mr. Moya indicated a second ago, bullfighting is an art. It's a ritual with tremendous amount of ceremonial protocol that necessitates all this paraphernalia, the plaza and the people, and all the beautiful pageantry that we see in the plazas of Spain and Latin America.
Thank you. Senor Perez, do you think that Americans are intolerant of bullfighting?
Intolerant, Fred? No. There is a great lack of knowledge towards bullfighting in the United States. And I will use the example of opera and classical music. If a larger number of the peoples of the United States could be exposed to opera or classical music, they will learn how to appreciate it. And therefore, there will be an increase on the likings of these people toward opera or classical music. The same thing would happen if these people would be exposed to bullfighting, because bullfighting, as Mr. Uribe mentioned at the beginning, is essentially an art.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your comments. We'll call upon you just again a little bit later this evening to give us some further viewpoints and pointers on bullfighting. Right now, let's all watch the first of our bullfights from Mexico City with a running commentary by Senor Uribe. By videotape, we go now to Mexico City and the Plaza de Toros.
El Palacio de las Bellas Artes. Todo el público unánimemente se ha parado y guarda el minuto de silencio que se anunció por el sonido local en la Plaza de Toros.
We're looking at the inside of the Mexico City, as a matter of fact, oldest plaza. El Toreo is the name. Seats 35,000 people, and it's full of tradition and memories of successful African. People were standing in silence for a few minutes, paying their last respects to the Rings empresario who just died from a heart attack and who, as a matter of fact, was very much respected by the fans. The corrida begins as the doors open, and the first one to cross the ring is an officer who on horseback goes straight to salute the authority of the plaza and ask him for the symbolic key to open the doors to the fiesta.
Descansa en paz este gran amigo y amigos, ahora la fiesta sigue su marcha. Aquí está el alguacilillo.
This traditional ceremony dates back over 100 years, and this particular horseman, very popular and well known, has been in charge of it for the last 30 years. He's supposed to direct the horse backwards in a very straight line until he reaches the first row of toreros. Now that he has the permit of the authority to lead the parade.
Nueva cuenta ante la puerta de cuadrillas para que hagan el paseo el ciclón mexicano Carlos Arruza, el poeta del toreo Alfonso.
We're looking now at Carlos Arruza, one of Mexico's greatest matadores of all time.
Carlos Arruza,
companion of the very great Manolete and his competitor in many bullfights in Spain and Mexico.
matador y casi sonriente también el
He's
caballo.
semi-retired,
Parece que se
and
contagia
by
de
this,
la alegría del
he has
ciclón
retired
mexicano y
from
de la
regular
alegría del
bullfighting
público
on foot,
al recibir
which is a
a quienes integran
classical
este
method.
cartel extraordinario.
and now he's going to perform on horseback in the Portuguese manner of bullfighting.
Aquí viene
He's leading the parade of toreros and goes to salute the authority who's seated up high in the stands.
al ciclón mexicano. Saluda a la autoridad y aquí también nos
And then
hacemos
on his way out,
para Alfonso Ramírez el cabecero
he salutes
y para
the public.
Juanito Silvetti. Juanito Silvetti viene vestido con un terno color limón con bordados en oro
The parade brings in first the matadores,
y
then their peons,
Alfonso Ramírez el
or
cabecero
peones, or
viene
helpers
con
in the ring,
un terno
and then
blanco con
the
bordados en
picadores on
plata
horseback.
y corbata verde.
They all salute the authority as they reach the fence, and then hand their equipment to their servants.
El ciclón mexicano del otro lado del pozo agradece las ovaciones.
There's great expectation this afternoon because Arruza, as I mentioned before, has been a great matador on foot, and it takes many years to acquire such a skill.
A la puerta de cuadrilla.
Very few succeed, as a matter of fact. And now in something completely different that would take almost another lifetime to master, he's going to perform on horseback, and believe me, there is but very few rejoneadores, as they are called, that receive enthusiasm from the audience. You have to be a bullfighter to know the bulls, and to be a tremendous horseman. But besides it all, you have to be artistic to comply with everything and look good when you do it. One more part to Arruza. Now the crowd has asked Alfonso Ramírez el Cabecero, to circle the ring and receive an ovation. This does not happen every Sunday afternoon, but only when recently a matador gave a tremendous performance that the people still remembers very emotionally.
Que dé una vuelta al ruedo.
And as a gentlemanly gesture of companionship, it's usual for him to take his fellow matador to share the applause.
Sí, realmente es merecedora esto más al
People are very excited.
Su arte incomparable, él expresó a la multitud. Y no solo su arte, sino también su valor. Un valor troyano.
We must have had a very good afternoon just 1 or 2 Sundays
Pues
ago
lo ovación.
to have everybody so
Una vuelta al ruedo
excited about
antes de
it.
empezar formalmente esa corrida. Efusivamente aplauden a Alfonso Ramírez del cabecero. Y el cielo se ha limpiado. Precioso cuerpo que trae Alfonso Ramírez del cabecero. Todo blanco, dados en plata, corbata verde. Y aquí creo que
He's calling his fellow matador
aquí viene
Juanito
el
Silvetti
chiquillo de Guanajuato también a saludar
to come and share the applause. Yes, he does.
a instancias del cabecero. Los dos reciben un caluroso aplauso. Todo listo. De Jesús Cabrera va a ser este toro, dos toros, ¿verdad? Sí. La ganadería con que fundó a México el ciclón mexicano Carlos Arruza. Milagritos es su nombre y Pepe Alameda le sabe.
Beautiful horse Arruza has. It's the only Mexican horse he has, as a matter of fact. Very beautiful.
Amigos, ahora Alfonso
Most of these horses are Portuguese.
de la autoridad, descubierto
And most of the rejoneadores have only Portuguese horses. That's a beautiful horse.
Para quien se provoca la consiguiente ovación. Va a comenzar la corrida en los momentos en que el sol luce esplendoroso y Carlos Arruza se coloca a la derecha de los compañeros matadores montando un caballo, pues un caballo nuevo para nosotros, desconocido, que debuta esta tarde y que es el único caballo de escuadra que no es portugués. Se trata de un caballo mexicano, zapatillo de Guadalajara, Jalisco, y que se llama banderillero. Nos han dicho que este caballo alazán tostado oscuro es un prodigio toreando con la cola como si fuera realmente un torero.
And notice that everybody's tense. Well, here comes the first bull by the name of Milagrito, number 5 of the breeder, Don Jesús Cabrera. You can notice the little ribbons on his back, which are pink, white, and green, and designate the colors of the ranch he's from.
Milagrito es de pelaje negro.
This particular style of bullfighting, the Portuguese style, consists of eluding the charge of the bull after preceding him to almost reach the horse.
llevando En la
Every bull
diestra, el primer
is
rejón de
completely
castigo se hace
different from the
presente
others.
hacia el
So in a
terreno de los
sense,
medios,
the matador
de Milagrito,
has to
el toro
quickly
de la
acquaint
famosa
himself
vacada
with the way of
sacrificada.
every bull.
Viste Carlos Arruza un terno corto, un traje corto al estilo campero andaluz, de color
Carlos Arruza is
gris
maneuvering
parejo.
to attract the attention of the
También
bull,
es gris,
inviting
haciendo
him
juego
to
por el
charge.
traje, el sombrero cordobés con que se toca el ciclón mexicano. Miren ustedes cómo consiente extraordinariamente en esa forma personalísima suya a
Arruza has a rejón in
lo ha
his right
dejado en los
hand.
medios de la plaza.
Rejón is
Viene
a
hacia el
pick from
tercio.
where this
Carlos
style
Arruza,
takes its name,
y ahora
rejoneo.
avanza pasando por el tercio.
He has to always let the bull charge, and with perfect timing, and right in the middle of the charge, place the rejón in the hump of the bull.
Avanza en rectitud y clava el primer rejoncillo de castigo con
He
esa
does it too
suprema
soon, he will place
naturalidad,
it
con esa
indirectly in the neck.
sencillez extraordinaria
If he
que
waits too
caracteriza
long,
al
he will
ciclón
place
como
it in the
torero de
back of the
pie
bull,
y lo
but he
sigue
did it
caracterizando como rejoneador. A nuestra izquierda arman un ruido infernal materialmente las cámaras cinematográficas que están funcionando bajo la dirección de Bud Bettiker, el hombre que hace la película de Carlos Arruza. Mientras Carlos Arruza florea con su caballo, alegrando al de don Jesús Cabrera, vuelve a sonar ese ruidito infernal de las cámaras y el ciclón mexicano da una carrerita de las tablas hacia el tercio para fijar a Milagrito. Buenas tardes. Bueno, se emparejó muy bien. Arriba y tuvo que salir el mal del ciclón mexicano, que ahora vuelve a provocar la arrancada fuerte de Milagrito y que gana el jalón gracias a las facultades extraordinarias de banderillero. Este extraordinario caballo ahora viene por el terreno de adentro y clava prodigiosamente, reuniendo como solamente lo pueden
I
hacer.
really appreciate anyhow the art of rejonear, although it takes a very great amount of nerve, is more a demonstration of horsemanship than the classical form of bullfighting, and is completely different from a regular corrida.
Que lo vimos a caballo. Insistimos en que la gente creía que habiendo sido maravilloso a pie tenía que ser forzosamente algo así regularcito cuando se montara en un camergo. Ya han visto ustedes
When the rejón or kick
extraordinario también, enorme. A la cola lleva prendido.
And it has to be, as I said before, in the hump of the bull. Only the very end of it remains in the animal, and a flag comes out of the stick to demonstrate that the
en
rejón is
rectitud
placed.
de frente completamente. Lástima.
That is the reason for Arruza waving it after
la
he
cara
just
hacia
placed it.
arriba e impidió que Carlos Arruza pudiera clavar. En los medios de la plaza continúa la escena. Casi en el centro del anillo está el de Jesús Cabrera. Al lado derecho se vuelve a ir Carlos Arruza, que clava el rejoncillo con suprema valentía, dejándose llegar enormemente los pilotos.
And now Arruza is going to place banderillas. They go by pairs and are smaller than the rejons, and the whole piece remains on the bull.
Ahí está Carlos Arruza con el primer par de banderillas en la mano diestra. Es un par de banderillas de color amarillo con adornos verdes. Conserva muchas facultades. El de Cabrera, que miren ustedes cómo aprieta detrás del caballo. Pero es extraordinario este caballo banderillero. Y ahí va por el terreno apretadísimo.
That is tremendous. The working with the bull always takes place with the bull between the fence and the horse. That way you have enough space for getting away. But when you get in between the bull and the fence, in a very reduced space, you really have to time the charge of the bull pretty well, or you will have a very valuable dead horse and the anger of 35,000 people. But if you come out with precision, with bravery, and with perfection, those same 35,000 people appreciate it, and they go wild over your effort, as it just happened to Arruza.
Carlos Arruza, que pasa rápido aguantando la fuerte arrancada para buscar ahora otra vez el terreno de adentro, toreando.
He's trying it over the inside again. That is dangerous.
Poquito a poco lo va cerrando para que se le quede más cerca del terreno de la barrera y pasar ahora por ese comprometido, reducidísimo espacio cerca de Toriles, donde el toro aprieta más. Dejó el segundo.
You see the little space he had between the bull and the fence.
Color lila con adornos en negro. Y ahora el ciclón se retira con su caballo banderillero. Volvemos a recordarles a ustedes que es el único caballo.
As we stressed at the beginning, Each matador has his own peons that perform the menial tasks on the ring. They place the bull in a specific place for the matador to move around freely and only to perform when the bull is in the right place to do the exciting things. Those exciting things that people expect out of a big figure, or plays the banderillas for the matadores, or many times with a very watchful eye to come out to the aid of the matador when he lies in a moment of real danger.
Creo yo que es Zapatito, caballo blanco Zapatiño.
Now he has a beautiful white horse. That's a Portuguese horse, and he has banderillas, one of each in each hand. So he has to maneuver the horse only with his knees.
En el tercio, en la zona de sol, está Milagrito, el de don Jesús Cabrera, y por los medios de la plaza camina con su cabalgadura Carlos Arruza, que ahora regresa hacia los tercios, se mete por el terreno de adentro y pasa por allá para fijar y cerrar y torear a caballo previamente a
Carlos Arruza. ¡Wow!
Y ahora tremenda emoción cuando casi alcanzó el de don Jesús Cabrera al caballo Zapatito. Este sí es un caballo portugués. Sigue toreando Carlos Arruza, mandando simplemente con las piernas, llevando libre la...
By the way, each horse is trained to do different things, as every horse has different capabilities. So in chasing a horse not always means an advantage over the bull, but to offer an assortment of passes in the performance.
Por la raya del tercio, consiente mucho a Milagrito. Y ahí tienen ustedes los esfuerzos del ciclón para separar de la barrera a este primero de la tarde. Es extraordinario, porque realmente parece un centauro, hecho una sola pieza con su cabalgadura Carlos Arruza, llevando las manos libres y mandando con el solo mando de las rodillas.
Doesn't he remind you of a Pegaso?
Que intervenga el peonaje,
really...
aunque sea milímetro a milímetro y pasito a paso. Sencillamente cumple,
Look at all the people getting excited over that. Really gave all the advantages to the bull and had the very little space to pass by and place the banderillas.
El listón rojo de la barrera.
As we stated before, in order to place a rajón or the banderillas, the bull must charge. It would be impossible for a horseman to, let's say, charge the bull and stick him when he's standing still, because with just a movement of his head in the encounter, he would gore the horse. Remember that it is always in the charge of the bull, and the correct timing of passing by, eluding the charge, that the rajón or the banderillas executed in horseback are placed.
Con Carlos Arruza, de repente se le alegró con banderillas. Milagrito, el de don Jesús Cabrera, que es bravo a carta cabal, y miren ustedes qué pelea tremenda le está dando. Más de una vuelta al ruedo completita, persiguiendo con un celo ejemplar.
He's having the rajón for the kill. You can notice that the knife is longer than any other one.
Está Milagrito y pasa por el terreno de adentro Carlos Arruza. Ahora sí, me hizo poner el toro y con
trying to provoke the charge.
Se salió de la suerte el ciclón mexicano.
In Mexico, the death of a bull in the ring is always essential, and it's part of the action of every bull. In Portugal, the bull is not killed and always cured from his wounds or disposed of him for meat just outside of the ring, just like any other healthy bull.
Se va para el terreno de adentro Javier, que ha dejado las cosas más o menos por como estaban al principio. Nuevos esfuerzos de Carlos Arruza para que se separe el toro de la barrera, y en cuanto encuentra el lugar, pasa pero se le quedó el toro. Están cayendo algunas fuertes gotas de lluvia en estos instantes.
The brave bulls, during their very short time in the fight, because of their intelligence and breeding, learn very fast many things, and have to be watched very carefully.
Bueno, de repente, después de la tremenda
The bull
carrera
changes during the course of his performance, depending on how good or bad has been kept or deceived. You may see that this bull is brave for sure, but does not want to charge the horse anymore, because he knows that the horse is
Solo
just
está
a
un poco a la
decoy.
defensiva, pero esto nos va a permitir
And as long as the bull has to charge to continue the performance, I think that Arruza,
quien ahora
yes he is,
se retira por
he's going
fuerza de cuadrilla,
to decide to leave his horse and continue on foot.
para torear a pie. Para torear a pie.
There you are.
Cayeron unas ligeras gotas, pero fue simplemente una nubecita pasajera. Ya se ha recobrado el azul del cielo y vamos a ver si no llueve. Carlos Arruza viene hacia las tablas.
Centuries ago, bullfights started in the big contest that the Spanish courts used to have for everybody's amusement.
Mientras tanto, allí está
When the daring caballero,
Ricardo Aguilar,
caballero,
Cerrillo,
let's say that way, to show his bravery to the lady of his dreams or to his king or queen, used to come out and say,
Carlos Arruza
the death of this bull goes for you.
toma la muleta
And all by himself,
ayudada.
with only one of those very heavy swords of old times and in front of a cheering crowd, perform his brave deed. The aspect of the bullfight has changed, but this particular custom has not, and that's what Arruza is doing right now, dedicating the performance to a compadre who is seeking Toluca, a very nice town 45 miles from Mexico City, saying, it goes for you, compadre, wishing you get well very soon.
Y vemos la bravura, la alegría, el
The muleta performance, or faena, is the most important one in each bullfight for the matador.
Ahora se yergue el ciclón mexicano,
His
llevando
very responsibility of making good lies here.
nada más para colocar y enseguida otro muletazo por abajo cuando se le revuelve rápido el toro para que dé el primer derechazo y el segundo mandando muy largo y pasándoselo muy cerca. Tercer derechazo de Carlos, aunque se le revuelve en corto milagrí. Avanza el ciclón mexicano hacia la raya del tercio. Cita por el pitón izquierdo.